basketball phenom. Caitlin Clark is breaking records and captivating fans worldwide. But beneath the surface of her soaring career lies a troubling wave of racist hate that's more insidious than you might imagine. Today, we're uncovering the deeper truths behind the challenges she's facing both on and off the court. But before we continue, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss anything. Caitlin's journey in the league is turning into an epic saga, and each chapter is more thrilling than the last. It seems the more people try to rain on her parade, the more she dances in the downpour. She's practically doing the cha-cha under a storm cloud. She's now attracting crowds of over 16,000 fans per game, turning every arena into a sold-out spectacle. Celebrities are flocking to watch her like she's the latest blockbuster, and courtside tickets are fetching up to a whopping $2,000. Compare that to the league's usual attendance of about 5,000 fans per game, a number that often feels as optimistic as a weatherman predicting sunshine during a hurricane when you see the empty seats on TV.
Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Here we go.
I have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old.
Caitlin's coming. There's more than just that are coming. What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Reality is coming.
Okay.
You know, there's levels to this thing. You look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
But we have a precedent here. They put the men's team, added Christian Laettner. In 2012, they added Anthony Davis because Blake Griffin got hurt. At some point in time, we've got to stop talking about we're trying to grow the game, because this is the most popular women's basketball player in the world. They had to move the Mystics game to an NBA arena.
Everything y'all said does not matter for this particular instance. You just highlighted 7 straight gold medals. Oh my God, we're really worried that they're not going to get an 8th. Oh, we really want. I mean, we got to make sure that spots 1 through 12, every single such spot that is picked. I mean, it's got to be, because it's pivotal, Shannon. I don't know if you noticed, Shannon, it's pivotal.
Even though she was left off Team USA, their loss really, Caitlin's success is as undeniable as a cat's obsession with knocking things off tables. Her impact is not just noticeable, it's like a meteor. You can't miss it, and it's shaking things up for everyone around her. As the team eyes their 8th straight championship, assembling the ultimate dream team is more crucial than ever. Caitlin is a key player in that vision, proving time and time again that she's ready to lead, maybe even ready to don a cape and save the day if needed. Just recently, she racked up her first triple-double, a monumental achievement she'd been flirting with in previous games, sometimes missing it by just a rebound or two. It's like finally catching that elusive Pokemon after it's evaded you for weeks. Even more impressively, she's the first rookie in history to average 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. Take that, skeptics. Her performance is making her critics eat their words faster than a competitive hot dog eater on the 4th of July. And let's not forget about the other player who snagged a massive shoe deal and then decided to badmouth Caitlin faster than you can say sour grapes. But Caitlin isn't lowering herself to that level. She's letting her game do all the talking. The results? Well, they're louder than a toddler in a candy store, and they're proving her worth beyond a shadow of a doubt.
This is their Super Bowl game. I mean, you know, we've beaten them 3 times this year already. We knew they were going to come into this game really hungry, and it's tough to beat a team 4 times.
This wasn't just any game, it was basically their Super Bowl. She pointed out that they had already beaten the other team 3 times, so naturally, the other side didn't want to take a 4th L. I mean, who would? Now, let's get back to where we left off, because with these girls, there's always something new popping up. It's like a soap opera, but with basketballs instead of dramatic music. I came across this guy breaking down some stats, and honestly, the way he explained it made me think, where do they find these numbers? Anyway, here's what he had to say.
Before the 2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership.
from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. Okay, now let's not talk viewership, let's talk ticket sales. Bear with me. Ticket sales grew in 2023 by 16% from 2022. Ticket sales have grown by 93% in 2024. What that means is without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA would have taken till 2029 or 2030 to get to where Caitlin Clark has gotten them today. What Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in 5 days what would have taken 5 years. So yes, the WNBA was growing before Caitlin Clark. Make that abundantly clear. But it was growing incrementally compared to the exponential growth you're seeing now.
No need to explain yourself, man. He said what he said, end of story. When the strike hit, the numbers shot up like a rocket. 16% to 100%, 40% to 4,000%. It was like watching popcorn pop. Before that, things were pretty much flat. But then she comes along and in a matter of weeks does what others couldn't manage in 30 years. Suddenly, 16,000 people were tuning in, and over 6,000 fans packed the place just to watch her. They even had to move her games to a bigger venue because they sold way more tickets than anyone predicted. Like seriously, who thought a high school gym would cut it? What were they thinking? It's as if they didn't get the memo on how big this was going to be. And now you're telling me she sold 20,000 tickets? That's wild. In the last video, I didn't even get a chance to mention the other former WNBA players who've chimed in, but I just found this one player, and I think she's worth checking out. You guys will probably find it pretty entertaining too.
My record was hidden from everyone for 43 years. 43 years. I don't think, I'll just go ahead and get the elephant out of the room. I don't think my record has been broken because you can't duplicate what you're not duplicating. And so unless you come with a men's basketball and a 2-point shot, hey, you know.
To be fair, she mentioned that back when she was playing, which, let's be honest, was practically in the Stone Age, long before basketball was even a thing, they were stuck using a men's basketball. That's just how things were back then. She held on to that record for 40 years, making 2-point shots like it was her day job, but nobody really seemed to notice or care. Here's the thing, before you rush to criticize without a single nice word, remember, you don't owe Caitlin anything. She's not sending you birthday cards or paying your bills. Plus, no one even knew about your record, and now it's broken. It's okay to just say, hey, that record lasted 40 years. Good for her, she finally got her moment. That being said, let's not forget that her record came from a time when the game was different. No 3-pointers, and they were tossing around a men's basketball. I'm not trying to rain on her parade, but you don't need to shower her with praise either. Just keep it cool and respectful. No need to roll out the red carpet. Now, about Cheryl Swoops, I've heard her name tossed around but never really looked into who she was. Apparently, she's supposed to be the GOAT of the WNBA or something like that. She made some spicy comments about Caitlin, which honestly isn't shocking. It seems like some of these older players just can't resist chiming in with their 2 cents. Anyway, here's what she said.
You're going to break a record. To me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it. So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
So after over 100 games, maybe 120, of firing off those 3-pointers like it was a full-time job, you're telling me it only took 13 fewer games. Oh, and let's not forget she got a bonus year thanks to COVID. Talk about getting some extra overtime.
Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Carry on.
Cheryl Swoops joked that Caitlin kept playing until she was about 25, or something close to that. She made sure to emphasize she was 25, people. Hang on a sec.
Record would never be broke because no
There'll never be another COVID year.
COVID year. Well, there's
right?
never going to be probably another 5 or 6 years you can play in college sport.
If this player did it in this amount of time, then you should do it in that same amount of time. So that's my thought on that.
According to Swoops, she used her extra year of eligibility. So is that true? Well, a simple search would show Clark has only played 3 years. So if she wanted to take a COVID year, an extra year of eligibility, she could. That's what makes her run that much more remarkable. She is on the cusp of becoming the #1 scorer all time, and she has played in less games than Kelsey Plum.
Dang, like he or she's killing them. But you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old. Like, you should be killing them.
Yeah.
Because you've been doing it a lot longer than they have.
Okay. Once more. A simple search would show this. Caitlin Clark is not 25. She's not the elder stateswoman rather. On January 22nd, her birthday, she turned 22.
She's not even close to 25 yet. I don't know where you're getting that number from, but it's way off. She got drafted at 22, and this is literally her rookie season. She's still 22, not magically 25 overnight. It's like I'm the last one at the party just figuring this out now. Better late than never, right?
Fun being had from none other than Iowa Women's Hoops' Twitter handle. And they would write, allow us to introduce you to Caitlin Clark, 22 on Twitter. Age, 22. Grade, true senior, 4th year. Games played, 123 points, 3,462 assists, 980 field goal attempts per game, 19.7 in her collegiate career as a whole. From Steve Del Vecchio, Clark has had a major impact on women's college basketball, and attendance numbers are just one example of that. Swoops doesn't have to think Clark is the best player of all time, but the 6-time WNBA All-Star should be embarrassed.
They've officially entered the realm of make-believe at this point. Another player has chimed in about Caitlin, and somehow I managed to miss this too. Maybe I need better sources. This time it's a WNBA player who popped up on Gil's podcast, Agent Zero, and spilled some tea about Ice Cube offering Caitlin a cool $5 million to join the Big Three. Now, just to refresh your memory, because who doesn't love a recap? The Big Three is this league where you've got 3-on-3 games featuring retired NBA players or current pros who are in the twilight of their careers. Basically, think of someone whose NBA days are behind them, and now at the ripe old age of 37, they're playing overseas for a bit of nostalgia. Ice Cube, being the visionary that he is, wanted to bring Caitlin Clark in as the league's first ever female player with a jaw-dropping offer of $5 million. Yep, that's right, $5 million to play some pickup games with the old-timers. Anyway, here's what the WNBA player had to say on the podcast. Brace yourselves.
If you open the article and you see what he said was his reasoning, he wanted to provide more opportunities for WNBA players and provide opportunities to not go overseas. People coming at me, no one really came at me sideways. One, I'm not a hater. This has nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. If he offered this to any college player, it would have been like, why?
If Angel Reese had been given that shot, she wouldn't have had a single complaint. Maybe she'd even throw in some applause. People would be flooding social media, raving about how awesome it is that Ice Cube is out here, giving college athletes a boost. He'd practically have a cape on, being hailed as a superhero. But honestly, if you're not playing at her level, making those jaw-dropping moves, it's like trying to join a VIP party without an invite. There's just no point in bringing it up.
I want her to come to the W where she will be celebrated and embraced and uplifted. It's gonna be like, nothing's gonna be easy, it's gonna be competitive, but we're waiting for her.
Let's give some love to Diana Taurasi, who's basically the WNBA's GOAT, greatest of all time for the uninitiated. She's still out there dominating in her 20th season, and yeah, she's in her 40s. Proof that legends don't age, they just get better. Before Caitlin Clark even made her way into the league, Taurasi had some pretty spicy and hilarious things to say about her. Because of course, even the GOAT needs to keep an eye on the young talent coming for her crown.
Hey, I'm taking Paige. Next question.
You were young yourself, and tell me if I'm wrong. Weren't you named to the roster as soon as you graduated, right? You were young.
Yeah. After I won 3 national championships in a row, I was named.
Jeez.
So where's this white privilege everyone keeps talking about? Diana's white, right? So if it was all about that, she should have been the face of the WNBA by now. I mean, shouldn't people be flocking to watch her just because they want to see someone who looks like them? She's been in the game for 20 years, and I've seen her play. She's pulling off shots like Kobe, hitting those mid-range jumpers. But if white privilege is supposed to be real, why didn't she become the WNBA's LeBron? Oh wait, Maybe she's just too boring for people to care? Yeah, sure, 3 national championships, but who was really watching? Meanwhile, Caleb Moore over here, losing games left and right, still somehow stays in the spotlight. Did Diana even win? Honestly, I'm not sure, but hey, her name rings a bell at least.
I'm taking Paige. Next question.
So you get the #1 pick this year. You would take Paige over Caitlin?
Absolutely.
In 20 years, she's never seen anything like this. She glances up, eyes wide, and blurts out, "Wait a minute, there's a person all the way back there? I thought those seats were for decoration. Do they come with binoculars?"
Largest crowd since 1997.
What about that? As high as $2,000 for the front row for this game.
Put things in perspective, the Minnesota Lynx, the top team in the Western Conference and one of the most popular in the WNBA, typically sells courtside tickets for about $257. After the game, she finally had some nice things to say about Caitlin.
What Caitlin's been able to do in her short career so far has just been nothing short of remarkable.
Man, 17,000 people packed the arena like sardines, the biggest crowd she'd ever laid eyes on. She was absolutely floored, like, wait, are all these folks really here to watch us play basketball? After the press conference, she was still in shock, saying, "I knew people were interested, but I didn't think many would show up. This is the largest crowd I've ever seen in my entire life. I can't even get this many people to a family reunion." She was overflowing with gratitude, probably thinking to herself, seriously, now that I'm about to hang up my jersey, the WNBA decides to blow up? Where was Caitlin when I was hustling for my break? Did I miss my memo? And speaking of Caitlin, she's absolutely on fire right now. She's out there stacking triple doubles like they're on sale, surpassing her idols, and still in the race for Rookie of the Year. Oh, and let's not forget her small-time $28 million shoe deal. But it does make you wonder, is this ride ever going to slow down? Will defenders stop chasing her like she's the last bus of the night? And what's the deal with her getting snubbed from the Olympic team? They said they needed the 15 best players, but apparently she hasn't earned it yet. Meanwhile, she's packing 20,000 fans into arenas while we're out here struggling to pull in more than a pickup game at the park. I mean, come on. So there you have it. Caitlin Clark is making waves, breaking records, and still facing hate that runs deeper than most realize. From being snubbed by Team USA to handling critics like a pro, she's proven time and time again that she's not here to play around. Unless it's on the court, of course. Now, we want to hear from you. What do you think about the challenges Caitlin's facing? Will the hate ever stop, or is it only fueling her rise to greatness? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on more takes just like this one. Thanks for watching.